and welcome to this week's Down the Rabbit Hole. This week we are back on my Quilting from Little Things book, and we're looking at a nice simple one this week, which is a nice change from some of the other ones I've shown you. I'll get out of the way. So this quilt is called Botanical Gardens, and I called it that because to me it looks like a whole bunch of flower beds, a whole lot of flower beds all mixed up together. It's a really nice, easy one. So this was actually designed when I was making a baby quilt for a friend of mine, and I had to get a quilt done pretty quickly. It was sort of an acquaintance rather than a best mate, you know, that quilt. And I wanted to make a quilt because she was having a baby, because it's a nice thing to do. Please excuse my dog. And I needed it to be fairly quick. So I came up with this little block, and the one that I made for the baby quilt was littler than this, because you could change the size of the squares quite easily. But these squares are a nice chunky size for you to get a quilt top. You know, this is a decent size throw or kind of like small double bed, done pretty quickly. So it's very simply put together. It's done in rows. You've got these little half square triangle units. It's put together in rows across the quilt like this. And I've used a little bit of colour theory here again to kind of mix everything up. So it's very, very scrappy, lots of great big prints and checks and all kinds of weird stuff. But like always, there's a couple of rules that are kind of holding all of the scrappiness together. So first of all, we've got all of the warm colours alternate. So you've got orange and then pink and then orange. And then on the next row, you've got pink and then orange and then pink. I've been pretty loose on it. Sometimes there's a yellow in with the orange. Sometimes there's more of a red in with the pink. I have no issue with that. It's kind of a warm colour situation rather than a hard and fast rule. And then in the in-betweens, we've got the cool colours. So you've got blue, green, blue, green. Next row down, blue, green, blue, green. Back again. I've tried to put kind of a like a floral and then a geometric together. So you've got, here's your great big mad K facet floral that's all cut up into pieces. And then there's something that's a little calmer with it. Even though this is a floral, it's got less of an impact than this. And then you've got something like this, which is slightly more florally in my mind. I know it's a geometric, but it's more floral than say the spot. Up here, you've got a floral and then a spot together, spots and florals, triangles and florals. So see what I mean? I've kind of got like a big print and a little print, or prints that are different enough of each other that they're not blending too much. You could quite easily make this quilt really, really blendy. If you wanted it to be much more gardeny, you could go with a much more, you know, two real florals next to each other and really have it look more, like more of a saturated colour rather than really getting the squares happening in between. So it's kind of, it's really adaptive, this quilt. It's very, very simply made. It's a really good one for using up scraps because you just need one strip of each colour and that's it. And then obviously you've got this fabric in between that's holding everything together. So when you look at the quilt as a whole, you kind of get this almost picnic blanket looking situation where you've got these all standing out against these, but really it's all just squares. So it's kind of it's a unusual little design in that it's just rows of squares. It's kind of, I suppose, a 12 patch rather, but it's all on point and it's a little bit more special than just doing that. It's very easy to make. It's very good fun. And then on the outside, I've chucked beautiful big cafe, which is always my happiness place when I'm going for a border that I just want to whack a big one on and not do a bunch of applique and all that sort of stuff. And I've just got these little breaks in between. Because I wanted a big floral, I didn't want the joins. I don't mind it so much in the corners, but I didn't want the places it was joining in the borders to be like halfway through a flower. And yes, I could have pattern matched, but I didn't have enough fabric, I think, from memory. This is quite some time ago. Anyway, so I chucked those little breaks in and I really like them. I like the fact that there's that little kind of like jump of colour in between the big florals all around the outside. And then this is one of my favourite bindings. This is an old cave, this one. And I just love the way that when you cut it, that zigzag happens on the borders. I've used it in loads of different colours on all of my quilts over the years. And then on the back, we have more flowers. This is a gigantic old Amy Butler. It's a beautiful one. And I kind of wanted to keep going with that whole floral situation. So this is the one. If you're looking for a really, really quick, fun, like colour exploration or gift to make for somebody, or you need a new quilt for the couch, this is your friend. It's completely different than my like 12-month applique extravaganza, which is what makes it kind of fun for me to show it to you because it's something a little bit different. It's called Botanical Gardens. It's from the book Quilting from Little Things. You can find it right now on my website, either as PDF or paper pattern, www.sarahfielke.com. And you can also find there my half square triangle ruler, which will help you to cut all those triangles out from strips really, really fast and quickly, if that is your choice. And that, my friends, is Down the Rabbit Hole for today. See you next time.